Okay, so this one is a little bit more about my interest in the rock Robin got video of, Artari caught, and a possibility to what I think it could be. So, this is 8 minutes, 15 seconds, and we're going to watch the whole thing.
Okay, I would like to point out that this place is extremely desolate. However, there is a bone put on this rock. In between this anomaly hill, this rock formation, and the mountain. So don't...
Damn. Okay, where he's at right there, I believe he came up through this chute, came back over into here, and I think this is possibly where he shot that video from. What this is I don't know if you come down in this. This is what I seen on my phone, and with my phone, I just did not have the detail to see if I could get up or down this. And what I don't know, if a person was to come across right up here, I don't know what that's like. But I think a person might be able to drop down into this and then go ahead and go up to the canyon. And if you look at this, if you look at my video when I was off of the fish hook, I said, I think that is a chute Robin went up. But if I'm looking at this, I'm not 100% sure how he did this. I would have to see it again and try to determine where I could get in there from. It might be as simple as going across this, and a guy might have to side hill over into this and then work your way back down into here. But I think it could be done. So let's get back to Robin's video. Moving up. Right there's what I'm talking about. If you look at that, you don't want to come up short.
Almost reached stage 5 of my search for M Cave and Kenny Veach, who disappeared November 17th, 2014. No sign of M Cave. Terrain very similar to what Kenny Veach was describing, how it was at floor level. We have reached floor level at this elevation. Looking for M Cave on the wall against the right or left side. In between like a small canyon right now, but it's not really canyon. I think it's...
Okay, I know cameras, maps do not show and give this justice. This is a flat hike. I can look at that and tell that. You look at this coming down as he's going through there, that is relatively flat.
Nothing. Dead end. Continue search. Okay, I would like to... Nothing. Dead end. Continue search.
Right here's the rock. All of this, I think this might be going into the next fall. I'm not as worried about that. If I look back here, this is a false top. I've got one hell of a peak back here. And, I mean, this as a landmark to me is just, I'm not as worried about not seeing that. And this could be the corner, this could be the chute that I think a person has to go in if I am looking for this rock. That rock could be right in here, and he is showing right in through here. That's coming up, and then you have these peaks back up here. But he shows this cliff, and what I think I would do personally is I would go ahead, come up this chute, come up here, and work my way back up, get over to this overlook, and then I would take this draw directly back down into Joe May Canyon. Right here's the mine. I mean, it's damn near south and a little bit west of the mine. But let's carry on with
search. Okay, I would like to point out that this place is extremely desolate. However, there is a bone put on this rock, and it's too high to the floor where the water, where the riverbed would flow when it overflows and comes down the mountain. This is not natural. I did not touch this. Look how high that is, guys. This is up to like my shoulders, so like 4 feet, 3.5, something like that. But that is definitely put there as a warning. Found a wash near on the way to step 5 on my map to looking for Canny Veach. No M cave, just smaller caves. We definitely have confirmation.
See, in this regard, it looks like he's going down. It's, I mean, when I say this is flat, what I mean by that is nothing is flat out there. But this is more gradual than when you come across this. This is pretty much downhill all the way into here. Then you go across and up. Over here, that's giving you an idea. You're going from, I believe it was somewhere around 4,000 foot to almost 6,000 foot. You have a 2,000 foot elevation gain in, I think it's like 3.5 miles to the mine, 4 miles to the pass. But when you're looking at this, from here to here is relatively flat. In fact, this might even be a little bit downhill. The problem that would have, a person's going to have, you do not want to try to go up or down this chute. That's where I would side hill over, come down, and then I would follow that draw, and if I wanted to go back up and look at this, I can. Or just go ahead and follow this down, and a person can try to figure figure this out. But this gives you that steepness that matches. I think that cave is in this initial part. I could be wrong. Next time I'm out there, I will know. Okay, we'll go ahead and finish out that video.
That there were caves that one of which is the M cave. Oh, it's just a cactus. I saw something in there, but it was the other end of that Joshua tree or whatever it is.
Why I think Robin went up into this. Between this, he called it a rock anomaly. I just call it a little island. When mountains are formed, you never know where the plates are going to move and the shifts are going to occur. This entire thing along the bottom, along this backside, up here in the face is where those little circle things, the rocks, I tried to get pictures of or video of the circles. This is full of holes. There are little caves all over in both sides. I walked up to this one, but back up in here is full of caves. I'm pretty sure my video shows that, but I think maybe he thought up in here was where he was going to find that whatever, the M cave, whatever he was looking for. And if you really think about it, if you want to come over from Joe May, this draw, I mean, you could shoot right over the top. The only thing is, what it looks like on maps, multiply it by a couple, because it's steeper and more rugged in person than it is on maps. Maps do not give this place justice, neither does pictures or video. Alright, we'll go ahead.
I forgot that trees grow up here at this elevation. Pinyon, you can eat them. The Paiutes would eat them.
I would have loved to have seen a tree
got the name from pinyon pine.
other than the first day.
Proceeding up canyon wall, almost at the end of.
Okay, this is where he is at that. That's the end of the line. You're not going up that. Not unless you're crazier than hell.
Riverbed reached point, top of mountain, just below it. I just found our state animal. Found the bone structure of a dead bighorn sheep. I don't know. It got buried. It died a while ago, and then the water tried to bury it, so it's been dead for a while. But how did it die? Because of
if you look up bighorn sheep and natural diseases, when I was in Wyoming, we had a herd of bighorn sheep up by Jackson Hole. Pink eye is one of the natural. It's a disease that sheep get, and it will decimate a herd in a hurry. Just throwing that out there in case anybody wants to understand how come there are so many carcasses out there. And I'm not saying it's pink eye. I'm just saying that is one of the causes. It could be animal predation. they normally don't fall. But at times they could.
Could it be a warning from someone or something? Proceeding up canyon wall, almost at the end of riverbed, reached point, top of mountain, just below it. Okay, well, this is the end of the riverbed. It keeps going up, comes down from up there, so I would have to keep ascending. Probably where Kenny would have come up. He said it was pretty tight, squeeze down a canyon, a really tight canyon, so I think this is what he was referring to, possibly, because this is pretty tight. I'm climbing up it right now, so continuing search, and I kept climbing, but I just couldn't do it. The rocks are too loose up here, so okay, so I walked around here to get to where I am. I'm going to continue up here.
Okay. Ethan Robbins says, guy's crazier than a shithouse rat, if you want to know my opinion. He tried to climb up. I would have to look at it and say he tried to go up this and everything was too loose. So, did he come up and around through there? Whatever. He came up and around. He just said, I came up and around and here it is.
And that's the fall for the water. Okay, we are at a different angle, a higher point from here is where I am, and I'm gonna try and become familiar with the area and keep searching. The breeze is picking up, passing by that skull again, heading on back, heading down south. Alright, so I stopped on the side of the embankment of this riverbed.
He's crazy as hell.
Fall in the wash. Some caves over here, but none of them are M caves, so don't waste your time. Heading back.
On none of those are M caves. I understand that simply because I would see M's all over, and some of it's lighting, some of it's different colors in the rocks. Okay, if you have a hole here, and you have the darker rock, the lighter rock, it will shift as you are going past it. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Heading back down a different way to cover more ground. We'll mark it and update as needed. Water damage. Collapse. Beautiful view right here. In this canyon, very narrow. Let's see where it leads.
See, and I think right there, he is back here. I think this is where he's trying to come down. And he was using the 3 points of contact though, so he knows what he's doing. He's not a dummy when it comes to climbing. About the only way for me, if I was going to try to come down this and get back down into the mouth of it, I would definitely want to have rope experience. Now, I'm not in my 20s anymore, so that adrenaline rush factor ain't as prevalent as when I was a kid either. So, I mean, And things look totally different from the top. You could see the handholds and where you want to put your feet. I don't know. But that's a pretty ballsy move there.
Alright, I need both hands for this one. Okay, there was a small crevice underneath it, nothing to report. Just empty. Alright, so I see some pools that can catch water when it rains and they stay filled, and the animals will come and drink it, so they're hydrated. So I'm getting through this canyon slowly but surely, and I'll see where I am on the other side. There's some caves, but no pronounced M on any of them, or they're made out of. Okay, gonna turn off. Alright, so I'm gonna come out on the map where there's a small anomaly mountain area.
Right here, those are the two. Well, when I was down in the bottom, I went up here because that is where I thought, well, I seen the M's. And when I would get up to them, it was all just in positioning and where everything went. But if you look at the way this channel runs, or this wash runs, right back here's where I came back up and went around. Right here. So anyway, there is why I believe this is where there isn't a soul in this world that can convince me this is not the draw. I don't care what kind of smoke and mirror bullshit a person wants to try. I mean, right here, the wash comes out, takes a hard right, comes back left. Right here, takes a hard right, comes back left. Right here's the side of the island hill. Right here is the draw or the bank that I came up and came back around on the lower end.
This is like a hill, it's not really a mountain, and it's right where there's in the map on Google Maps, you can see it, where it meets it, right next to that wash. So I'm coming out through this way, and I went up right next to it on the other side of this one. So on the map, it'll show it.
Okay. I went up on the other side of this one, and then he came down into here. This is where he shot his initial video, and he's farther down. He just told us where it was at.
Show this pronounced area going up, and this, like, as you can walk up it, but it's a really rough hike. I would not recommend it. And I'm searching it for you already, guys, so you don't have to. And I'll save you a day's hike. And I see a cave over there, no M, no pronounced M, and I can see into it. So there's nothing over there. I can tell just by looking at it. It's just, I can see pretty, it's not narrow like you described it either. So, not a lot of caves here on this side. Not a lot of caves. There it is, zoomed out. See behind me. To the right here, the small caves, no M caves though. Up there. Alright, I'm continuing my descent. Alright, I'm just about at the base. I checked it, all this side of it, no caves. I know what you're saying, but Robin, what about that tiny one over there? Guys, I checked, it's about 1.5 feet tall. No, it's not M cave. Let's move forward together, guys. Until next time, Robin out.
Alright. So there is a map to height comparison. Now, my idea on what I think the rock means. I wish I would have got pictures of this. I thought I did, and thinking back on it, there was a guy and his wife, and they was reading it, and when I was taking pictures, I was just really not trying to bother anybody or anything like that. In this, it talks about how the early Mormons would settle out there. This is Toxic Tabasco, and they did an entire video inside the refuge center. Anyhow, this talks about descendants of the early pioneers, and they still walk through to Alamo through this area the way that their descendants did. This video caught my attention. This is who I watch to get my weather updates, simply because generally if anything moves through Utah, pretty much the I-70 corridor, then I'm going to get the weather. Anything above it generally goes north up into Wyoming. But they were talking about the history behind Utah's unique and mostly forgotten alphabet. And so I watched the video and I was like, what the hell? And it clicked. Like, wait a minute. These were Mormons that settled into the area, and right here is a website, Lost Mormonism, and it goes over the symbols that they used. I don't have a book on it or anything like that. And when we look at, let's see, where is it? When we look at this rock and the symbolisms, we're assuming that it's on its right side. For one, we don't know where the rock started at. What I kind of wonder, and what I think, I mean, it doesn't have to be this lost language, but was this rock a message to other travelers? I don't know. To me, this rock, I don't know that it has anything in the world to do with Kenny. But I think that historically, I think this rock could have some historic value. I mean, if it was carved in the late 1800s for other travelers going for doing the hike up here to Alamo, and if they were coming through here, you know, that could have been, okay, there's a fresh spring, there's a good spot to be out of the weather, you can rest for a day, then carry on. How many more rocks like that are possibly out there? So anyway, to me, that rock has a historical value beyond what, I mean, it just has a historic value to me. What anybody else thinks about it, that's up to them. You know, I really don't I'm not worried about arguing about that rock is over here, up here. This is where I think that rock is. I think Robin's video confirms exactly what I'm saying. All the landmarks are proper, and that just is my thought on it. This is the way that I took to go out there. When I was going, I came over and I hugged this face and came through all these little switchbacks right here. Was trying to avoid deep washes, but I also wanted to sit and glass a lot of those caves that I seen right in here. Plus, once I got up here, this is where I wanted to sit with my binoculars and glass all this up here, and nothing fit. And then when I seen this, I wish I would have just went up that. But at the time, I thought that that big rock and the cave, I thought I would just go right down this hill. I did not think it would be as tough as it was. And I did not plan on climbing up here to check out that other hole. I mean, I chased a lot of stuff that could have saved energy just by going up. And if I got to here, I might have had to have backtracked and then go up this if it was possible. Might have been a way to go right through here and just drop down into here. But it was when I read this, that is when the rock clicked. And then when I seen this video, that was when I started thinking, okay, maybe the rock just has a historic value to it. So I looked up this, and I mean, I don't know what... I don't know if this rock, that everybody's thinking this is a D and an M, but if that rock was on its side, and that's supposed to be some kind of an E, and who knows what the hell. I mean, that just is. Everybody's assuming that that is the way that that is supposed to be. That could be upside down, sideways. I don't know. But anyway, that's my take on the rock. And I believe it's man-made, and I think that it has a historic value that might not have been looked at yet. And then again, it might be nothing. But normally rocks don't fall out. If it has a weak point and this is going to break off and leave an indentation in what's above it, it's going to do that across the face. To me, that looks like it's rough carved. So anyway, you don't have to like it, love it. You can think whatever you want to. But that is my take, and to me, everything else aside, this rock kind of has a whole new value to me, personally. So anyway, take it easy. Later.